In a world where youth sports gets a lot of attention, we look at why it's really important to put faith first in our lives. Come with us as we dive into the exact method that we took to balance faith and athletics. This can help our kids grow up to have a appreciation for sports and understand the priority that lies in their relationship with God.
That's so important. Is it possible to raise kids that love Jesus and are excel in their activities? We're Chris and Shelby from Crown to Intent. As fall sports are kicking off, learn how we are raising kids who excel in their activities, but know that the priority is their relationship with God. This is a really hot topic because youth sports is such a big thing.
Big thing.
I mean, all over, I think.
Yeah.
Kids start playing sports really early.
They're starting much younger.
They're starting really early, and there's a lot of pressure for, I think, kids and for parents
Yes.
to, to excel in sports. And so, what we love sports.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
In fact, our family's been really involved in sports, both ourselves, and then I coached basketball for 20 years. And Chris was always there, always supporting.
Always, yeah.
We believed wholeheartedly in the value of sport.
Got them in the summertime, put them in the pool. Got them swimming. That's kind of how I grew up, was in swimming and loved it. And so as I got older, I obviously started doing some running, and we talk a lot about the cycling side of it and just being in the gym and just always being physically active.
Yes, so there's a lot of value in it.
Yeah.
So you kind of touched on that already. What are some of the values that you find in sports?
Okay, so for kids and adults, but mainly for kids, because we're talking about that today, the physical fitness side of it.
Yes.
Okay, the physical
So
fitness,
good.
it's important. Another part of that could be the overall health,
Right.
and then the mental side of it.
Yes,
so
definitely.
there's kind of some three key components there.
Right, definitely. So you've got your physical health, but then there's so much benefit mentally for kids that do sports. They learn to be resilient.
Yeah.
They learn to have mental toughness to fight through things.
When we tell our kids, when you say yes to being on any team, what we tell them, whether they feel like getting up that day or going to practice that day, is you've committed to that. So mental toughness is get up and go. There's no option in that. There's no quitting in that either.
Yeah, even if the practice is at 5:45 a.m.
And right now, that's what
have
we're
those.
going to some practices that are pretty early.
Yeah, it's a little harder to be tough. No, I'm just kidding. We still
No,
are.
we
still
make it
are-
happen. We make it happen.
Those early mornings, though.
They are a little bit more,
Man.
a little bit tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So besides mental aspect and the physical aspect, what are some other benefits of sports?
Kids learn teamwork.
So important.
Massive.
So important to be able to work with other people.
With other people. So, we've talked a little bit before about building our kids, their character and their understanding of relationships as they are on teams.
Yeah.
There's going to be difficult people that when you go into the workforce, you're going to have to work with. Well, in the team, sometimes that comes across. It's like it's more difficult to work with some. And some will work harder than other.
Yeah.
We expect our kids to work hard and have fun, but work hard as well. And so they're going to go out into the workforce, and we're going to find out.
Did they learn that?
Did they learn that? And yeah.
Yeah, but that's so good because you're also in sports, you're put in difficult situations. So not only are you learning to work with people that you might have conflict with, but also now you're put in maybe a difficult situation and you've got to learn to work through that. So
yeah.
super
Another thing that we
important.
just really talked about was like the discipline of getting up and going and doing
Yes.
the early practices, or even if you're tired and you still need to go to practice, you got to go to practice.
Right.
And so that's another part of the discipline part of it. Really, really key.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So, with all of that said, we also, when we started having kids and we were determining what are we going to do when it comes to sports, because there's so much pressure with youth sports. It's good. Sports are good.
Yes.
I mean, there are benefits. We've been involved in them, but we've also learned to put parameters around it. And so that's kind of what we want to just discuss with you today. What are some of those parameters that we put around sports so that so it didn't overtake our lives or our kids' lives?
Yeah.
They understood the priorities.
Mm-hmm. So what is our family's kind of motto when it comes to that, when we talk about sports and also balancing that?
So our motto, what we really wanted, our goal, and we like to just live intentionally, and so start out with that plan. But our goal is to raise adults who are healthy, who are well-rounded.
Yeah.
They've been involved in lots of different things, but who first and foremost love Jesus. That's the number one.
Right there.
So if we are letting our kids be involved in sports, again, so much benefit to that. But how do we communicate that loving Jesus and our relationship with him is number one when it comes to sports?
So what we want to do is we want to share some practical applications with you that will help you have a healthy foundation in your relationships with sports and your family.
That's great. Yeah. Because it takes being intentional, especially the busier your family gets and the older they get, the more involved they are. Yeah. And so practically, one of the things that we do now is we look ahead at the week and we say, okay, we have a game this night. We have a meet this night, church this night. This is a free night. So I'll just go ahead and communicate with our kids. Hey, no plans on this night.
Yeah.
We're having a family dinner. So another practical tip that we did when the kids were little is we did not allow them to be in more than one sport at a time, which we still don't allow.
No,
even as teenagers, we don't allow that. But also, when they were really little, we didn't even have more than one kid in a sport at a time.
Yeah.
We could do that. We could manage that schedule. But we just chose that as a family, we weren't going to overschedule ourselves when they were little. We knew a time was coming that we're in now.
This time right now.
That the schedule is going to be busier, and they were going to do their sports in high school.
So another practical tip that we actually followed is that church was rarely missed or is very rarely missed if sports are involved.
Yeah.
Because we talk about living intentional, we find it very important to be in church and involved at church rather than playing sports. That may touch some people's
I know that's going to be
touchy spots. But I'm saying for us and for Crowned Intent, what we did was we made sure that our children love Jesus first and that other things come into play after that. Because God will honor us if we honor him.
Well, and occasionally we would miss. If it was a game that, there was one in the season or there was a tournament, a lot of times we try to catch an earlier service and then get to the tournament. But
we've even gone, because our church has the ability to do this, we've gone to a different location because it was closer to where the tournament was being played. And so we've done that before.
Right.
But still make it a point
to not miss
church.
Well, and here's our reasoning for that is because when you miss church for athletics or other activities, You've just told your kids, maybe not with your mouth, but with your actions, you've just told them that church isn't that important. And therefore, they usually associate that with their relationship with God. It's not that important. And so that's the last thing that we want to communicate to our kids. And I would say, especially at this time of their life.
Yeah.
Because it's so important that they are owning their faith and that they understand what a priority that it has to be.
That's how we live intentionally.
Yeah, it's been a big thing. Sports, we love.
I love them.
We
love them. Love being involved. Love watching them play sports. I do sports. You do sports. We enjoy them. But for us, raising a family and making faith be number one, we've made it very clear that will come after your faith and your relationship with Jesus.
Right. So one thing that Chris always said to me from when the kids were little, and this helped me so much because I felt a lot of pressure when the kids were little to get them on teams and to travel. And not that I wanted to do those things, but there was just a lot of pressure that, what kind of chances are we giving our kid if we didn't do that? And you always said to me something that was so helpful. What was that?
We're not raising athletes.
Yeah.
We're not,
our goal is not to raise athletes.
No.
If they become athletes, if they go to college for athletics, if awesome. They became professionals, then, that's happening anyways.
But we are raising kids who love Jesus.
That's our goal.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that always helped me. So hopefully that helps you too. Yeah. And if you are interested in learning why are we talking about these habits, why are we talking about just living intentionally, we're going to show you a video. We're going to link the video where you can see exactly why we live intentionally and why we think that it's best to just choose to live that intentional life.